Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, so happy New Year's Day, 2023, yo. Da 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 anxiety. Yeah, that kind of thing. Before we start, let's please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, which you do, information in the description for Cash App and for Zelle. Let's do this. So, new year. Yeah, we made it. 2023. Yes. You're welcome. 2022. Yeah, I recap my New Year's was hanging out with Scotty Beers. He um made like awesome he grilled uh ribeyes, and we made ribeye sandwiches, and like all I did was cut up the onions and peppers and um you know key. Okay, you're making onions and peppers, for your ribeye sandwiches. Put a little sugar. Add a little sugar. Caramelize that. Not too much. Be careful. Just a smattering of sugar. But yeah, then it was on like Texas garlic toast, and we had a different kind of cheese. Like he had habanero, you Swiss, awesome. Then we had fries, and we drank beers, and we celebrated the New Year's by watching Kiss concerts on YouTube. So first one we watched was like Kiss Alive 2, like 1977, live in Largo. And then we watched a concert that we were at. Scotty and I went to, it's 19, matter of fact, they put the date on. It was February 2nd, 1996, St. Louis, Kiss with Alice in Chains opening. Scotty and I were there. Matter of fact, you can't really tell where we're at, but we're like on Ace Frehley's side of the stage, really close to the stage. But we just look like blobs. You can't really pick us out. And how we got there, I got us some good tickets. But then once everybody settled, I I hate to admit this, but I paid off a security guard to get us further down. But hey, yeah, I want to live a bit. You know what I mean? So what you do is you fold up the money in your hand and shake their hand, and they feel there's not really much said. Just well, that's what happened. And then at the end of the concert, they finally found out what we had done and then kicked us out. Not kicked us out, but made us go back to our seats. But the confetti was falling, so we'd already seen the show. Awesome. Alice in Chains. They opened that night. We saw like that was the second to the last Alice in Chains show ever. Like the next night in Kansas City, they played, and then something happened. I don't know, overdoses, whatever, and they left the tour. But probably the best rock show I've ever seen. And Scotty Beers was saying the same thing, because it was the Kiss reunion. I don't know how people remember in the 90s. The Kiss reunion was the anticipation, the excitement, the original Kiss. I'd never seen them live. So I was, oh my God. And the seventh show, so they'd already got all the bugs out, and they were on it. This is before all the money, people, the drug, because they made people repeat mistakes, and before they liked each other at the moment, so perfect show. Yeah, so we watched that. It's trippy to watch bootleg shows that you were at, And later on that night, though, I got pickpocketed, and someone stole like $200 off me. Good times, might have been karma from paying off that security guard. Who knows? But yeah, that's how I roll. At the time, I was doing really well. I knew everybody in St. Louis. That's how I got these good tickets. And I wanted it. We basically were in the VIP section, kind of. We hung over the raft, and Paul Stanley shook our hand, and the singer of Kiss, and and then the drummer of Alice in Chains, because Alice in Chains were sitting beside the stage. He came over and shook our hand. Lane Staley looked like death. That poor dude. He didn't look like he was long for this world. Poor guy. Yeah, so that's what I did on my New Year's. New Year's, I love New Year's. It's a start of a new year. And resolutions, I'm not really into that. Someone asked me, or like, what's your resolution? I don't do that. Is New Year's resolution, isn't that like a pagan ritual or some shit? I don't know. Because people are like, oh, I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop, my anger issue, whatever it is. I'm going to stop shopping so much. Or I don't even know. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to run. I'm going to play tennis, whatever. I'm going to quit golf hustling, whatever it is. You're not going to. Why put yourself through that misery, You should be doing that all through the year anyways. I get it's a good thing to start. Like, this is my theory about trying to make change in your life. Because there's times in my life where I was a wild man and I had to get sober, and I fell off the wagon, getting sober, going to, and it's worth it. Even if you fall and get back up 10 times, it'll be worth it because you do get to your goal. See, that's the thing about people. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're going to make mistakes. You might fall and stumble, get back up. Yeah, you might go and eat some candy or whatever. You're trying to lose weight, but stick to it. This year, 2022 was a really kind of big year for me because there was so much change in my life. I had to adapt to different. I lived in LA for 24 years. The last area of LA I lived in was Arcadia. Pardon me. I lived in that house for 6 years. Had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Kind of a funky shack looking thing on an alley. So it was in front of these other from my street I lived on. You couldn't even see where I lived. You had to go around through the alley, and my driveway was off the alley. So there's a lot more craziness in the LA alleys. Believe me, you don't want to be in an LA alley, especially at night. You see the darndest things. But so I driving across country. Part of it was tough. It took me longer than I thought. It was shocking to see a lot of the Americana disappear. I mean, usually there's all these little things and stands and weird teepee hotels and whatever going across country. Well, all that's gone. I mean, it's technically still there. It's out of business. Kind of sad. The only thing I stayed at the whole time was like Motel 6s, because it took me, because I just went through a year of therapy back, last year, but from a neck and back injury. I got beat up. So when I'm sitting and driving, I can only drive for about 5 or 6 hours at the most. It sucks. I was used to road dogging and doing like 12, 14 hours. So it took me 6 days to go from LA to Illinois. 6 days. I usually would do that in like 2 or 3 days. Not anymore. I'm old, And I had my 2 dogs. They're elderly. One of them was real elderly. So what I could stay was Motel 6. They let you have free dogs, and Motel 6 is not that, it's what it is. I'm grateful that I had. But it took me forever. Get back here. Total change of pace. I got back in February, like the first week of February. Got this apartment, which is small. It's like a studio apartment. I haven't lived in a studio apartment a long time. In LA standards, this is actually pretty big for a studio apartment. I got like 2 rooms, a big room, and then the kitchen's pretty big. But there's no closets. There's, you know what I mean? My shower sucks. I live in this old house. I'm grateful to have it, though. And deliberately, I knew. That's why I moved back to where I'm at, because it was affordable. And I could decompress and get away from the stress of LA. I needed somewhere to start my podcast. I needed somewhere literally just to kind of like lay in bed for a couple. And that's what I did. Just kind of like took it easy, getting used to your surroundings. Again, I had this injury. I still deal with it. So a lot of change. Started my podcast in May. I think I started it on my sister's birthday, like May 5th. And I'm about to, this week, I'm going to hit 250 episodes. I'm not sure which day. Maybe it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to do a 250 episode. Been doing it every day. In the beginning, I missed like 1 or 2 days because I had my stomach issues going on. But every day. And also meeting different people. This town has changed. Like change happens. Change is going to come. Changes came to this town. Farm community. Nothing really exciting going on. But then I knew I needed that. I needed to like, hey, because quite honestly, where I lived in LA, even if I closed my doors and shut all the windows, There's so much noise going on with the neighbors in the alley. There's always someone going up and down the alley and pulling their garbage cans and people collecting aluminum in the alley. I couldn't have done it. It was just too loud. And here I do have some like noise issues where people are like, oh shit, neighbors coming by, which is fine. But yeah, a big year. Accomplished a lot, set goals, stick to it. Comment below, how was your 2022? A lot of change for me. A lot of change. Getting used to I don't have a yard. I mean, I do, but it's not fenced in. I don't have a back door. I used to have like sliding glass door. Just let my dog, they hung out all day. And I had a shed and fruit trees. And, I had to switch it up to do my podcast and to get out of LA after the lockdown and all the shit, those 2 years of like, was it 2 years? A year? Who knows? Yeah, 2 years. And I blazed through my savings. I had savings, and that's what I've been living off of, basically. And during the lockdown, like everybody was getting like an extra $600 a week. Not me, for some reason. They admitted it. Actually, the unemployment, because I lost my job. Everything closed down, and the unemployment, EDU or whatever, EDD, whatever the hell, my unemployment, said they owed me like $28,000, which I won't get because I don't know. You think that they made a mistake and forgot to pay. Oh well, it'd be cool if they did, but they probably won't. Yeah, change. The only constants of the world is change. So I've had like switch gears. There's not as much hustle. We were talking about this last night about like, I usually flip cars and guitars, a lot of them. Like every week I'm selling a guitar, a car, I used to. Not around here. There's not a guitar store. I mean, there's a music store. It's so small, and they have like 4 sets of strings, and they and the stimulus, I'm used to more stimulus. I'm used to being around like minds. I'm used to around artists and dreamers, and that's not a lot right here. And I do stick out, even though I've changed my wardrobe even, and try to blend in. Now I can. That's not for me, I guess. But yeah, grateful. 2023, and here at the end of the month, my birthday is January 29th. I'm gonna be 52. Like, what the 52? I never thought. I know people say this. Never thought that I would. Even when I was in my late teens, at 52, I would never believe that I'd have lived this long. The life that I lived. And how, there was times I was crazy and a wild man and this, that, and the other. And then just how I ran the Hollywood streets. I mean, that's just for 24 years. And the strange thing is like, I had long hair. I had a bad reputation when I was a teenager. And even my friends, their parents, they were like, for one, I couldn't go to other people's houses because I smoked, and I lived with my parents, and I lived at the end of my teenager, I lived with my grandparents. They let me get away with a lot. Bless their heart. And they, I had a bad reputation, and I wasn't even allowed like at people's houses. Like all through high school, I couldn't go to a girl's house and pick her up for a date. Like I had long hair. People think that there's small minds out there. And there was like, they would tell me, they talk about my friend, you're going to be dead when you're dead. So I just thought that like, well, maybe they're right. And the strange thing is all those people, for one, they're gone. And my friends even that I knew that, stay away from Charlie, he's bad news, whatever. They're gone too. Like I'm the last man standing. It's just like, what the fuck? I'd have never thought that I would be that. I don't think anybody else would either. Shit. Be careful, again, you got to have your own mind set and your own thoughts and your plan, your goals. Forget about what everybody else says. Remember, a curse is what other people say about you, and then you believe it. You're cursed. Okay? It isn't like a witch with a cauldron. Hang in there. Just do your own thing. Because quite honestly, most days I don't feel like doing my podcast. It's just like, oh shit, like but I look forward to, again, it's weird. I look forward to it too. Once I get over that hump, it's always like, okay, I got my little ritual. It's not a ritual, it's just like a routine where I do a little bit of cleaning, walk my dog, get my clothes set out, take a shower, get out, get my coffee, bam. If I'm off that routine, I don't like doing it. I'm all about the routine. We had it when I was in a band. I had it when I did uh, art shows. I had it even as an actor. Like you have to do, I can't do these things. Hey, wing it. I mean, I can. I'm kind of winging it now, but I need these little routines. I'm a creature of habit. I've realized that I have to have these little routines that I'm kind of like a dog or something. But it worked. That's what works for me. And I got plans for this year, growing my podcast. Again, please support the channel. The information's in the description for Cash App and Zelle. Because there's a lot more I'm going to do. And I do need support. And I know once I get more subscribers and this, that, and the other, I'll be able to I need a producer to help me. I need a bunch. I mean, granted, I could keep doing what I'm doing, which I'm gonna, but it'd be better. And I'm used to having, like, anything else I've had. It's usually taken me a while. Like, even when I was doing like art shows in LA, it took me about a year to get into the groove of like people knew who I was. And then you start getting art shows because you get turned down. You have to submit your art, a picture of your art, and email the submission. That you're like, no. Then you finally. The first real art show I did in Los Angeles at the NoHo Art Center on Lankershim in NoHo, North Hollywood Art Gallery. Great night. It was a weekend. It was a group show, 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night. Awesome. And then from there, just kind of like after I did that, I sold painting. Like, hey, but it took me about a year. I was still painting. I was being, I wouldn't. I would submit myself, and I wasn't getting in these shows. And did I live down the street? No, I actually lived in Reseda when that happened. It was like 2003, maybe 2004. I was in Reseda, which is deep in the valley. The valley, meaning the San Fernando Valley. It's past the 405. See, the 405 cuts through the, LA, Beverly Hills, whatever, going to Redondo and into San Diego. So it cuts through, and you're past the 405. You're deep in the valley. Like, get used to people not coming to see you if they live in Hollywood. Like, fucking Reseda. And Reseda all looks the same. When you get out in the valley, it all looks like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like all the buildings, all the. And then I ended up moving deeper. I went into Granada Hills, but we had a nice house and on a hill, cul-de-sac. But yeah, change. You have to. The only constant in life is change. And I, for one, welcome the change that's coming in 2023. More to come for me. I'm going to get out and about with my podcast. I was emailing the Outside the Grid guys. They have a podcast, Outside the Grid. Check them out. Give them love. I'm going to be this week sometime. I'm going to be on their podcast. And others. People have asked me. Rockin' Ruckus. I'm going to be doing his podcast. So yeah, I'm going to maybe doing a lot. And again, as much support as you can give me, I welcome it. I mean, I usually wouldn't ask, but it's just like shit. You think you can get now. You need support. And what I love about this, it's the little community that I've got with my little podcast here. Again, not many people watching me, but the people that do are awesome. And thank you, all my followers. I love y'all. I chat with you. I comment. People email me. I got an email, and I might do a podcast about this, but they didn't say much about who they were. but they're a psychic that works with like law enforcement, and I follow the Delphi case, and Delphi, Indiana, two girls. If you don't know, two girls. Anyway, they and pray for Abby and Libby. They emailed me and they gave me some information, but it was kind of vague. They didn't want to mention names and stuff. I get it, but they had turned it over to law enforcement. And I guess they're on the ball, that this psychic, because they work with law enforcement. They found people, missing people and stuff. So they emailed me. They like my take on the Delphi case, which out of all the people that follow the Delphi case, it's kind of shocking to me that she's like, you're right on the money. I like yours the best. I watch them all. And I shouldn't say she, because I don't know if it's a she or a he. They didn't, could be a he. I don't know. But they emailed me and I emailed back and they emailed me. So we're going to keep this. So I'd like to maybe do a episode about that, because I'm not a true crime podcaster. I mean, I kind of visit that world, but I haven't done a Delphi video in like weeks, maybe a month. And in that case, they've arrested someone, but I still think something is afoot. I don't think that's something else is going on. Maybe there's more people involved. I'm just picking up. Like, again, I'm not a psychic either, but my gut, I have enough, intuition, if you will, to realize that something's not right. So yeah, I a lot more coming. Maybe I will have guests. Who knows? Because I joined Discord. I can't figure it out. Like, I have dyslexia. Like, I was calling the outside the grid guys off the grid. It's just dumb. I'm a dumbass sometimes. And Discord, there's all these buttons and this and that, and I say, I need a tech person. Like, I'm tech. I haven't even studied computers back in the day, but it's just, I'm a performer. I'm a podcaster. I'm a content creator. And anytime I start getting technical, and it's just not laziness or anything like that, it just sucks the creativity out of me. It sucks my performance out of me. Like, I can't, that's why I don't have the live chat going. For one, I don't like wearing my glasses, and I'd have to be like, what? And it just is a distraction. I should be having live chat, but I can't. And I'd have to figure out who to ban, because people are going to be, people are. I don't know how to make moderator, because you need people moderate. Because if you're riffing like I am, maybe you need somebody to go in there and like kick people off because they're posting links to whatever, because I get that people post links in my I hate that bad stuff. I don't know, not as bad as they used to. I shouldn't say anything because maybe they'll kick it back up. But yeah, comment below. How was your New Year's? What did you do? Are you hungover? Are you but yeah, I had some beers last night. I had like, I think 6 beers and a shot of Caroline's, which is like Irish cream. But I didn't really hit it that hard. I didn't, I don't party like I used to. Like, I nursed those beers over hours. Like, what was, like 5-hour period? I drink like a beer an hour or something. I used to not be that way. I would drink like a 6-pack and I'd drink a case of beer in a night. Comment below. Did you drink too much? Did you smoke too much? Are you hungover? The hungover edition. And then Scotty Beers this morning, earlier, he, because I'm doing this a little later, because he called me, he's like, hey man, I'm making biscuits and gravy. Oh, it was awesome. He did this new technique, like he made the roux. You have to cook the roux and he nailed it. I mean, because his biscuits and gravy are off the chain anyways. This was even more shocking. Like, what in the world? What kind of magic voodoo did you? It's just a roux. And once I'm done with this, I'm about to go back over there. We're going to watch the Chiefs game. And I think he's making pork chops. He loves to cook. He cooks and I do too. But my kitchen, I want to get, My little stove, only one eyelet works. It's the small one. You get creative, you know. And then my oven is so small. I've actually burnt. I don't know if you can see my knuckle. I burnt my knuckle. It smoked. It smelled like a bratwurst because it's so small. And then it's hotter than so. If it says like 450, you better put it on 300 because there's not that much. You're literally inches above the coil. That's yeah. You have to. Again, I had to like augment my lifestyle to start my podcast because I knew that I had to concentrate. Couldn't be doing this, that, and the other thing. Uh, lower your, I'm used to a house. I'm used to having like a standalone house and I do have a driveway, but we share it. It's basically mud, you know. I park on the street most of the time, and that's the foresight that I had. I had to. It's like, look, I got to do. There's things I want to do. I got to change it up. And that's what you do. Like my grandfather, after World War II, he started his antique business, and he wanted his own store, but he couldn't afford. So he had to live in the store for I think like 2 years. You got to buckle down sometimes. He got robbed twice. Dude came after him with a fucking fire axe or something. Busted through the door with a fire axe. Luckily, he had a gun. He actually shot the dude, but the dude didn't die. Yeah, you have to, sacrifice. And I'm not talking about a weirdo thing. I'm talking about, like you have to like literally like in your mind, like, okay, set some goals, got to do this. I got to pull back. Like I don't eat out as much as I would like to, This year, as far as my finances, I haven't been this low in over 10 years. Because I don't have my side hustles. I'm not flipping guitars. I'm not teaching vocal lessons or guitar lessons. I'm not flipping cars. I'm not, this, that, and the other. Every once in a while, I might get like in a pilot or an independent short film, whatever, and they pay you $150 a day, whatever. In LA, there's things that it's always something you can always like make more money. So I've had to do without, basically. But I have, it isn't gonna, again, I'm used to better, but I'm gonna be okay. But I do need people's support. And so I'd appreciate it. Again, information is in the description for Cash App and Zelle. And please like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Tell a friend. There's this guy who rants like a madman. He's got, that kind of thing. My book, you can buy my book, even though they're not paying me. I haven't been paid in 20 years. You can buy my book. You can go to Amazon.com, Charlie Greer, Rant of the Madman. I think there's like a download Kindle. There's all these downloadable, digital, physical book. Who knows? I think there's used copies you can find. So you'll figure it out. And some of people are going to mail me the book so I can sign it and I'll mail it back. I'll do that. I also have CDs that I get, but I don't. I probably could be selling CDs because I have some leftovers from my last album. We shall see. But my plans for this year are to do better with my podcast. I want to start my own website. I want to get my own server. That's why I need support because I want to do other. I'm censoring myself, man. I can't say what I want to say here on YouTube. I wish I could, but I can't. So I have to, again, augmenting what I'm doing, censoring myself. So that's my goal in 2013 is to I get hats and t-shirts. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay designed the hat and the t-shirt, and people want hats and t-shirts. I get it. We're working on it. It's coming. And there's gonna be more merch. I don't know exactly what, but so merchandise. My own website. I used to have charliegreer.net forever. I had that for like 10 years. And just to do better, to get more people involved. I want someone behind the scenes, a producer, whatever you call that, whatever it is, someone to help me. Because there's only so much. Again, I'm the performer, man. I need someone doing all that stuff. promotion and this, that, and the other. But when I think about it, I've been doing my podcast. I think this month, I think it's the 9th month. I started in May, so I think this is 9 months. It usually takes me about a year to get anything else I've ever done. My bands, my book, my art shows, my acting. It took about a year. My scripts, even I write scripts. It took about a year before I got an entertainment attorney or an agent or whatever it was, a manager. So I'm right on track. That's my goals. That's what I'm doing is that in 2023 to keep doing what I'm doing, plow through, and just do better, do more, and comment below. What are your goals? What do you guys have planned for 2023? I know, conquer the world, right? Yeah, I get it. You want to, but yeah, I do this every day, rant like a madman. So I'll be back tomorrow. That's right. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Happy New Year's Day, people. 2023. I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.